You hear the name Alphonse Mucha, and a very, very specific image probably pops into your head. But you know the story of the man behind that iconic art? It is so much more complex, and honestly, way more fascinating than you might think.
Okay, so first things first. Let's talk about the style we all recognize. I mean, it's a look that pretty much defined a whole era.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You've seen it everywhere. These long, elegant, flowing lines. These absolutely beautiful women with incredible hair, all wrapped up in these delicate floral designs. It's the visual language of Art Nouveau, and his name is completely tied to it. This was Style Mucha.
But here's the big twist in the story. Was the man who created this quintessentially Parisian look just another trendy designer from the turn of the century? The answer? Oh, it's not even close.
See, to really get who this artist was, we have to look past those famous Parisian posters. We need to uncover the man behind them, a man who, at his core, had a patriot's heart.
In fact, from everything we know, Mucha actually resented the very label that made him so famous. He was, first and foremost, a passionate Czech patriot. And being seen as just some Parisian artist, well, that was a huge source of frustration for him.
And just look at his backstory. He was born in Moravia, which was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire back then, and he was raised in this atmosphere of fervent Slavic nationalism. He even failed to get into the Prague Academy of Art. So by the time he gets to Paris in 1888, he's a struggling artist, not some Parisian socialite. His identity was forged way, way before he ever got famous.
And his big break? It wasn't some calculated career move. No, it was a total accident, a complete stroke of luck. You could almost call it a Christmas miracle.
So picture this. It's Christmas Day in Paris. Mucha is at a print shop, just doing a favor for a friend. He's poor, he's a nobody, just trying to get by. And then the phone rings. And that one phone call is about to change not just his life, but the entire look of Paris itself.
The legendary actress Sarah Bernhardt, she needs a poster for her new play, Gismonda, and she needs it like yesterday. Every other artist is out of town for the holidays, so the printer, in total desperation, turns to Mucha. So he sketches this completely radical design. It's life-sized, it's super narrow, with this unique, almost sacred quality. The printer hated it, but Bernhardt, she absolutely loved it. So on January 1st, the posters go up all over Paris, and they create an absolute sensation. Style Mucha was born, just like that, overnight.
And the effect was immediate. Bernhardt immediately signed Mucha to an exclusive 6-year contract, not just for posters, but for her sets, her costumes, even her jewelry. This one accidental job made him a star and gave him financial security for the very first time in his life.
But here's the thing about Mucha. All this Parisian fame, it was never the end goal. Not at all. It was just a means to an end, the key that would finally unlock his true calling, which was miles away from Paris. This was his life's work, the Slav Epic, a massive cycle of 20 enormous canvases, each one telling the story of the history and spirit of his people. This, not the posters for champagne, this is what he believed his real legacy would be.
So he used all that fame, all those connections he made in Paris and later in America to find a sponsor for this huge project. And in 1913, he finally went home and dedicated the rest of his career to the epic.
And here you can really see the two different sides of his artistic life, plain as day. On one side, you've got the commercial posters in Paris with these idealized women, and on the other, you've got these patriotic paintings in Prague, showing the national spirit of his people. Totally different mediums, completely different purposes, basically two different worlds.
So, which one is the real Mucha, the Parisian decorator or the Czech patriot? Well, the truth is, you really can't have one without the other. They're two halves of the same whole.
It's this wild paradox, right? Style Mucha brought him a kind of fame he didn't even want, but that exact same fame and money are precisely what allowed him to go after his patriotic dream. The commercial work he did in Paris directly paid for the epic paintings he created in Prague. The bottom line is, one could not exist without the other.
And here's the final, and maybe most beautiful irony. For all his effort to create this separate patriotic art, a lot of critics at the time pointed out that his Parisian posters, the very work that made him famous, already had this unique, unmistakable Slavic feeling to them. His real identity was shining through all along, even when he wasn't trying to show it.
So this all leaves us with a really fascinating question, doesn't it? How should we remember an artist? Is it for the work the whole world knows and loves, or is it for the work that the artists themselves believed defined their soul? With Alphonse Mucha, the answer is beautifully and I think perfectly complicated.